What the heck is Meshtastic? The website says it is an open source, off-grid, decentralized mesh network built to run on affordable, low-power devices. If that's about as clear as mud to you, don't worry. We're going to break down what Meshtastic is in easy-to-understand terms. When we're done, you'll know who it is for and if you should care or not. Before we get into breaking down that tagline, first and foremost, Meshtastic is a radio-based digital communication tool. It allows you to chat or exchange data with one or more other people in your area. Simply put, Meshtastic is a walkie-talkie for Gen Z. You don't talk, you text. What does that look like for you? Really, it's very similar to many other messaging apps that you may already have on your phone. This is the primary interface most people use with Meshtastic. Along with chat messages, it also has optional location sharing. For more advanced use cases, there is support for sending other data like sensors such as temperature, humidity, and more. Meshtastic does not currently support voice communications. It's for text only, which is perfect. No one wants to answer the phone anyways these days. Now that we've established that Meshtastic is for communications, let's take apart that tagline. We're not going to go in order, but dive in with off-grid first. Off-grid means no public utilities. Very simply, Meshtastic does not require cellular service in order to operate. It works completely independent of the traditional cell phone service. So if cell service is not available, either because you're somewhere that it doesn't exist, or it's not working properly, Meshtastic enables you to maintain two-way communications. In our modern society, where it seems every corner of our world has cell service, when might this be useful? Well, if you're planning a backcountry hiking or camping trip, you can stay in touch with your party, base camp, or vehicles. Attending a large event out in the desert, stay in touch even when traditional networks don't exist. If you've ever been to a major festival, like Coachella or Outside Lands, you've certainly noticed that the cell network often gets overwhelmed. Even at a very popular local event like a downtown art and wine festival, you may find yourself unable to talk or text due to network overload. But Meshtastic can ensure reliable communications with your friends and even show you their locations. And let's not forget disaster preparedness. In emergencies, when cell service is down, Meshtastic provides a way to communicate with friends and family in your local area. There are, of course, hundreds of off-grid use cases, but you get the idea. Let's move on to decentralized. Decentralized means that there is no registration required and no one controls your use of the mesh. There is also further meaning that your mesh of nodes are self-organizing, so you don't need to be some sort of network expert or have experience in running radio networks. Simple enough. But since we've mentioned it a few times now, let's address the mesh network portion of our tagline. Each Meshtastic radio, also called a node, talks amongst the other radios in the area to create a network, or mesh. They will relay the messages they see automatically, which means that simply by having more Meshtastic nodes, your mesh gets larger and more robust. It's like the kids' game of telephone, except that the messages don't get mangled with each hop. This feature of mesh hops is of utmost importance when it comes to discussions of range. A good Meshtastic radio will send a message about 5 miles, assuming that there are not too many trees or buildings in the way. Meshtastic, while impressive, cannot send messages through mountains, unless you use that mesh. As established, if you have two people on opposite sides of the hill, their messages cannot be directly sent. However, if you have a third radio on top of the hill that the people can see on both sides, it automatically forwards messages as part of the mesh, allowing the two sides to connect. In the San Francisco Bay Area, using hops in the mesh network, along with having nodes permanently positioned on mountaintops, allows messages to be reliably sent and received over 100 miles. So those three keywords we've just discussed, decentralized, off-grid, and mesh, are the most important for someone new to understand about Meshtastic. There are still 3 other pieces of the tagline that we need to cover in quick succession. But before that, please know that this is a very high-level overview, and there are a great many nuances to Meshtastic. We will drill into more details on this channel, so like and subscribe if you want to learn more about Meshtastic. With that said, let's get to the low-powered devices. A Meshtastic node utilizes LoRa, which is long-range, low-power radio technology. It enables the multi-mile range while using a fraction of the power of Wi-Fi. The trade-off is that LoRa only operates at a fraction of the speed of Wi-Fi. In addition to the low-power radio, most Meshtastic nodes use either an ESP32 or NRF52 microcontroller. These microcontrollers are the brains of the operation. They provide all of the computing smarts, along with features like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Most importantly, they use significantly less power than, say, your average smartphone, with the NRF52 chips being the most power thrifty. The exact battery life of a Meshtastic node will vary greatly depending on how large of a battery is included. But many of the NRF52 based devices can run continuously for several days with a battery that is the fraction of the size of your standard AA battery. We've talked about these devices' low power usage, but what about their price? AKA commodity. Great news! It won't cost you an arm and a leg. As Meshtastic.org highlights, the hardware is truly affordable. Popular entry-level devices like the Seeed Studio T1000E are priced at just $39 US, and the Rack Wireless Whiz Pocket comes in around $99 US. You'll find a range of quality Meshtastic devices between these price points, so there's something for every budget. For the tech-savvy users, Meshtastic offers plenty of room to innovate. Devices like the Rack Wireless Whiz Block and the Seeed Studio 1110 Dev Kit allow you to build custom radio nodes or even set up a solar-powered station. Tailor your mesh network to fit your unique needs. That brings us to the final item of our tagline, the most important item, which is why it's at the start of the tagline: open source. What sets Meshtastic apart from previous attempts at mesh communication technology is that it is truly open source software. Even if you're not a developer, this does matter. Open source means transparency, community collaboration, and no corporate surprises. No one can suddenly revoke your access or brick your device. You're in control, and you benefit from continual improvements driven by a passionate community. So if you're serious about staying connected when cell service isn't an option, Meshtastic is a great solution. Affordable, customizable, and designed with you in mind. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to the Getting Started guide, along with where you can buy the devices mentioned previously. If you'd like to learn more, check out the playlist on the left for more Meshtastic content. Or ask in the comments, and maybe we'll make a video about that topic next.